Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Chopping Mall from Joshua Millican, and this is from Encyclopocalypse Publications and Scream Factory. Novelization based on the screenplay by Jim Wynorski and Steve Mitchell. Security robots in a mall going crazy. There's your nutshell. And for the too long didn't watch folks, I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. It's very, very enjoyable. Now, when it comes to novelizations, at one end of the spectrum, the better or best novelizations are books where the author has added to the material, filled out the material, gotten into the characters' heads. Maybe they've expanded the scenes or given us a little more insight into certain things, or even maybe explained away some potential plot holes. If you watched the movie, this little thing doesn't make sense when you watch the movie, but then when you read the book, the author has added something where you can go, oh, okay, that sort of fills that in. Now it does make sense. To me, those are the best novelizations. And at the very, very extreme for that, you have The Funhouse by Dean Koontz, writing as Owen West, where you have 2/3, 3/4 of the book is all original material, and it's just that last part that is a novelization of the movie, and it's even not, or not even, an accurate novelization. It hits the beats, but there are some big changes that are there, I think, to match it up with all the original material that he wrote. And he has an afterword where he explains why he did it that way. As a novelization, a straight novelization, it's not that good. But as a book, it's definitely good. I love the movie, and I really enjoyed reading the book and having all that tons of extra stuff at the beginning. Now, at the other end, the bad end of novelizations, and unfortunately, I always go to Reanimator by Jeff Roven, a movie I absolutely love, but despite the fact that there's a little bit of new material, everything else, everything that's the movie, reads, to me anyway, like someone describing the movie to you. And I thought it was terrible. I enjoyed those little bits that were original, and it's very little. But then reading the rest that's actually, based on a movie that I love, so bad, in my opinion. Worse than just a straightforward telling of the story, as I said, more like someone describing it, if that makes sense. So where does this fall, you might ask, since I just rambled on about all that? This falls not in the middle, I think, but a little closer to the good end of the scale, because we do get into the character's thoughts. I suppose I could talk a little bit more before I get too deep into this part, a little bit more about what the story is, in case anybody doesn't know. We have, let me just double check, Park Plaza Mall, and this security company has created these security robots, and they're going to make their debut at Park Plaza Mall at 10 o'clock at night, after the mall closes, obviously. At midnight, these steel shutters are going to come down, and there's 3 security robots, one for each floor of the mall. They're going to patrol the mall. If you're an employee, you should have a badge that you can show to them. If they stop you, show me your badge. You show them the badge, everything's cool. If you can't do that, if you're a bad guy, there's actually a security video, or a video that the security company shows to mall employees that has a bad guy. He breaks in and he steals some stuff, and the robot zaps him with a taser, knocks him out. But on the night that these robots are going to start their duty, 8 mall employees have decided to have a little sex party in the big furniture store that's at the mall, which would be fine, except there's a huge freak storm. Lightning hits the computer that controls the robots, and the robots go nuts and become KILLBOTS, which was the original title of the movie. So now we have these people trapped inside the mall, being hunted essentially by these security robots, who are now not just going to use those tasers to knock you out, they are indeed KILLBOTS. So that's the basic plot of it. And what Joshua Millican has done here, he's actually added a few scenes. There's a brand new opening scene, and there's a brand new closing scene, and there's a couple brand new scenes in the middle of the story. But he also, that's great. He also gets into the characters' heads. Our main character is, let me see if they give her name here. I believe it's Allison. Excuse me. And in the movie, she, there's a point where she grabs a road flare, which is fine. You're being chased by KILLBOTS. Maybe a road flare will be handy. But that's it. She just grabs the road flare. I mean, she does use it later, but in the book, much earlier in the book, there's something about her and her relationship with her father and something her father said that makes her grabbing that road flare more significant. So we get this more character building, and again, inside the characters' heads, which, of course, you can't really do unless you have voiceover in your movie, which this movie does not have. So that elevates this in the world of novelizations, because it's not just telling us the story of the movie, it's giving us more. It's increasing it. And the movie is a very low budget movie with some performances that maybe aren't that great. I'm a huge fan of the movie, but some of the performances aren't necessarily that great. Some of the special effects aren't necessarily that great. Some of the music might feel a little silly or campy in some points, and you lose all that when you're simply reading the book. The performances, or whatever you're making them in your head, the special effects, you have an unlimited special effects budget in your imagination as you're reading this. So you're not seeing maybe something on a wire that you're not supposed to see. You're just seeing the thing. You don't see, apparently, so in the movie, there's a security guard before the robots are deployed, but after they've become evil. He's looking at a centerfold in a magazine, and one of the KILLBOTS shoots its pincher arm through the centerfold into his throat. Spoilers? And in the movie, I didn't notice this, but apparently you can see where the hand is going to come through in the centerfold. You can see that it's already pre-damaged. I don't know. Again, allegedly, I didn't see it. But again, in the book, that's not something you're going to see. You're just going to be reading about this security guard looking at a centerfold, and then he's killed. Again, spoilers? So, top quality novelization. And it's a fun, it's throwback. Well, I say throwback, but I mean the movie's from the 80s. But the novelization, brand new ish. Within the past year. So if you're a fan of 80s horror movies, especially low budget horror movies, or if you're a fan of Chopping Mall itself, this is a must read. It's a fantastic book. There are a couple of little things in the book when so we have basically there's 4 couples. Well, there's 3 couples, And then there's Allison, who's being fixed up with somebody to give us our fourth couple. And before they meet, at one point, the guy that Allison is going to meet, I really hope that's her name, since I keep calling her that. Anyway, this guy's name is Ferdy. And his friends call him Wesley. And when they're dragging him to meet Allison, they say, "Meet your Princess Buttercup." Now, to me, this is a straight up reference to The Princess Bride. This movie came out before the movie The Princess Bride, but came out after the book. So, one could argue that the characters are, I guess, big fans of the novel The Princess Bride, because they certainly could not have seen the movie. So that was a fun little thing. And this is a Corman production. The movie's a Corman production. I believe Julie Corman, Roger Corman's wife, was the main producer on it, but Roger Corman was involved. And there are a lot of references to Roger Corman and Corman movies. There's a pet store called Roger's Little Shop of Pets. There's a reference to Little Shop of Horrors. And I believe there's a place, I can't remember which shop it is, that's Corman's something or other. And a slight mistake, I mean, it must be. This is in the movie and in the book. In the movie, there's a security guard reading a book called They Came from Outer Space. It's a book edited by Jim Wynorski, the co-writer and director of Chopping Mall. And it is a collection of short stories that have been turned into movies, science fiction and horror short stories that have been turned into movies. So it was edited by Jim Wynorski with a foreword by Ray Bradbury, and it has the Arthur C. Clarke short story that eventually became 2001: A Space Odyssey. It has the short story that was the basis for The Fly. I believe it has the story, Who Goes There? That's the basis for The Thing, or The Thing from Another World. But anyway, it's called They Came from Outer Space. And in the movie, you literally see the book. The security guard is reading a physical copy of that book. You can clearly see the title. For some reason, in here, they call it It Came from Outer Space. I'm assuming it's just a simple mistake, but I can't imagine that they weren't allowed to use the actual title. So I think it's just one of those things. But I noticed it. Anyway, so that's it. 4 out of 5 stars, Chopping Mall, Joshua Millican, Encyclopocalypse Publications. Highly recommended. Now, the movie. Just a quick little talk about the movie. A lot of great people in the movie. And I immediately draw a blank. Barbara Crampton. There we go. Barbara Crampton. Scream Queen extraordinaire. From Reanimator. From Beyond. And tons of other stuff. She's in this. And then Kelly Maroney. The names are coming back. Kelly Maroney, who will always be the younger sister from Night of the Comet to me. That's, I think, the first place I ever saw her. Loved her performance in that. Love her performance in this. But Dick Miller, classic B-movie actor. Mary Woronov and Paul Attell. Not sure about his name, but they're allegedly playing the same characters that they are in Eating Raoul. I'm not 100% sure about this stuff. But love Mary Woronov. And some other people that I recognized. One guy, there's a slightly older couple than most of our main cast. And they're actually married. They're maybe a year or two older than, character-wise, a year or two older than the other characters. And they're married. They have their own automotive business. It was driving me crazy in the entire movie. This guy that's part of this married couple. I know him from somewhere. I can picture him in an outfit from whatever movie it was. So as soon as the movie was over, I had to look it up, and he's from Friday the 13th Part 2. Um, so, and then there's another guy. I recognized him, and I've seen him in a couple of things, but now he's like directing a shit ton of TV. Things like The Rookie and Castle and Blacklist and that kind of stuff. Tons of that stuff directing. Not so much acting anymore. But really, a fun cast. And I guess they had 5. There's 3 robots in the film, but I think it said they had 5 robots actually, and some were remote control. Some were wires, controlled by basically puppeteers with wires, I believe. And the reason they had 5 instead of just 3 is, you've got to have some spares. But it's a very simple movie. The editing sometimes isn't that great, but it's very straightforward. The very first thing we see on screen is the video that the security company is showing to the mall employees that I mentioned. And then we jump right into meeting our characters and setting up the plot, essentially. They're going to stay for this party in the furniture store where 3 of them work. And then the lightning KILLBOTS. It goes a little more in depth than that in the book. And another thing that I found funny that's in both the movie and the book is 2 of the characters, Allison and her friend Susie, I believe. So Barbara Crampton and Kelly Maroney. Twice they do this where they'll say, "Babe, it is babe, isn't it?" And I know that phrase from the movie My Bodyguard, which also came out in 1986. That's a movie that stars Sam Jones of Flash Gordon fame and Deborah Foreman, who I know from the original Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage, as well as Real Genius with Val Kilmer, fantastic movie, and I believe she's in Waxwork, but she plays a chauffeur. Did I say My Bodyguard or My Chauffeur? My Chauffeur. She plays a chauffeur. Sam Jones is a rich dude. She becomes the chauffeur, and at least at one point she says to him, "Babe, it is babe, isn't it?" And I don't know, for some reason that always stuck with me, and it happens to be in Chopping Mall as well. 2 movies that came out in 1986 with the exact same dialogue, and it's not like, a character randomly saying, "How's the weather?" That could be in any number of movies. This seems like a very specific thing to be in 2 movies that came out at the same time, not written or directed by the same people. I checked. Anyway, that's all neither here nor there. Fantastic, fun movie. As I said when I was talking about the novelization, not necessarily the greatest performances or the greatest effects, although there are some really cool effects. Sometimes the music seems a little silly or campy, but still it's very fun. It's only 117, an hour and 17 minutes in its original cut. Apparently, when it was shown on TV, there was some more footage put back in, basically just to stretch it out to 2 hours with commercials. But an hour and 17 minutes. It's a fast movie. It's fun. And I recommend the movie just as much as I recommend the book if you're a fan of low-budget, somewhat campy horror movies. So there you go. That's Chopping Mall by Joshua Millican. And 4 out of 5 stars. Really, really liked it. Question for the video: have you seen the movie? What do you think of it? Is this the type of movie that you would read the novelization for? And are you more interested in reading a novelization if it's going to give you more material, or do you just want pretty much a straight up retelling of whatever the novelization is that you're reading. Um, I'm a big fan of novelizations. Used to read them all the time when I was much younger. Got away from it for a while, but now they're making a big comeback with the Encyclopocalypse, and now Crystal Lake Publishing is coming out with one. I don't remember what it is, but I'm very... Oh, Carnival of Souls novelization coming out from Crystal Lake. Right? Crystal Lake? Don't take my word on that, but I think that's what they're called. And a lot of big budget movies getting novelizations from actual... I don't want to say actual publishers, bigger publishers. I have all three of the... Is it David Gordon Green, Halloweens, and basically all the new King Kong and Godzilla stuff has been getting novelizations. I don't have those. And I think they've probably been going on, just haven't made the impact that they've been making lately. And, excuse me. So, I've got all three novelizations of Ty West's X or Maxine trilogy, whatever you want to call it, and the novelization of Terrifier 2. The Ty West books are from A24. Terrifier 2, excuse me. Don't remember who the publisher is, but it's by Tim Wagoner, who also did the Ty West stuff. So yeah, sort of this resurgence, and I'm all for it. I don't necessarily want like every novelization that Encyclopocalypse has done, but most of them, and they've reprinted some older ones. Fright Night by John Skipp and Craig Spector. There's a new edition available from Encyclopocalypse, and they did something with, I forget the movie distributor, but they huge thick novelizations of Rats Night of Terror and Virus Hell of the Living Dead, I think it is, and those seem to add a ton of material. I was flipping through the Rats Night of the Living Dead, or Rats Night of Terror, because that's on rotation on Riff Tracks channel, so I've seen it like a dozen times in the past few months, and flipping through it, it looks like there's a ton of extra material. So I'm all here for that. So yeah, and I have like I know I have the Alien and Aliens novelizations by Alan Dean Foster. I don't remember if I have Alien 3. I'd actually have to check. I've picked up some of the older novelizations that I used to have back in the day. Clash of the Titans, the original Clash of the Titans. I have that one. And I've picked up some that I didn't have back in the day. I recently picked up The Hearse novelization. And some others that I don't remember all of. But yeah, and I'm really looking for those older novelizations of horror stuff. But what about you? Do you not even care about this stuff? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Bluesky in the description below. That's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.